Hello, and welcome back to this channel. Today's going to be a very fun video because lately, especially the last few weeks, I've had a lot of you guys asking questions on how do I set up an outdoor garden. Now, with this channel being mainly focused on indoor growing, especially the last few months, I really do want to kind of switch the table and go outside. I'm working on a great outdoor garden setup on a budget, and I really do want to give you guys some great tips about watering, getting those plants that don't really like that much sunlight, shade, so many things I really do recommend. Before we do go outside, please subscribe, hit the bell notification on all so you not miss a video, and please like this video. Let's go and go outside. Now, when it comes down to gardening outdoors, it really depends on really what you're going to be growing. Are you going to be growing maybe tomatoes, peas, just maybe 3 or 4 things? Or are you going to have that one great outdoor garden that grows like 100 things, almost every single thing you could possibly think of when you go up to like the nursery or like the local garden center? Almost everything they have on the shelves. Is that what you're going to be having outside too? So I'm going to be showing you guys all around my garden piece. Pretty much everything I want to grow. There's like maybe 75 plants I really want to grow out here, so I'm going to be showing you guys everything I put into mind to really make the setup the perfect for these plants to absolutely thrive this summer. So let's go ahead and start with this middle section right here. So the last frost date is almost here, so I will start to get plants out very quickly. If you guys happen to see just the greenhouse behind me in the intro, I was germinating and growing a ton of stuff that will eventually go out here. So I have started to plant a little bit of some stuff, but that was when the weather was predicting it to be very nice. And then basically like 2 days after I planted them, the weather started to change pretty drastically to the point where I was actually kind of thinking, you know what, I don't know if these plants are going to live. But luckily they have gone a lot more steady in a way. They are still going to get a little bit cold. I think there's one more night where it's going to get a little bit colder than what really it needs to be. It's going to get down to about 31. So I'm very kind of just nervous about that. So we'll just see how that does. But it really depends on what are you going to be growing, because some plants really do thrive in the very beginning of the season. So a lot of the plants I am growing, like I'm growing 8 different types of lettuce. I'm growing a lot of different herbs. So those plants, specifically those plants I'm growing, really do like, well, cooler weather. Now there are plants here and there that really love just hotter weather. They don't like much water. One of the best like kind of desert area plants to grow is rosemary, because it's so incredibly easy. Another great plant for beginning seasons are strawberries. I really do recommend looking into those. Now, for everyone starting the garden for the first time, strawberries do take about a year before they're ready to start producing strawberries. And if they do start to flower that first season, cut those flowers off. It'll put way too much stress on the actual plant and kind of just kill it off, and it just won't regrow. So some of the plants are doing pretty well. The celery is rosemary is actually doing pretty well. It's looking actually really good. Over here, I'm a little bit nervous about the blueberry plants because the leaves are not supposed to be turning red, which indicates that they're not really liking this temperatures. So when it does get colder out, I'll have to kind of bring out a heated mat, run some extension cords around, kind of put a bin over them, I'll probably just put like a bucket over them temporarily for that night, and just, yeah, put the heated mat around the bin, try to heat it up a little bit to a good temperature where it can still thrive. And then once we can go through that one day, in about 2 days, it's looking very good. So let me tell you what, once it does start to warm up a little bit, I'm going to be planting very quickly, because that last frost date is coming up very quickly. I'm going to have to start preparing. So if you guys have been with the channel for a while, the last 3 days have been very boring, mainly because I just haven't had much to do. But like, kind of what I'm saying is just always be ready. For pricing, I'd really strongly recommend doing something that, like, kind of something like my setup, because at the end of the day, the startup cost will be a little bit more than just kind of buying from like a market. But if you want, or like a greenhouse, if you guys do want a lot more produce and your garden to be a lot bigger, I really do strongly recommend starting your plants on your own, growing them, letting those thrive in your home. And then, I mean, it can be as simple as just germinating them and putting them in front of a window. But I will say that you can save a lot of money just buying the seeds, growing them at home. I really do recommend that. Now, I will say there's also a lot of seeds I'll be just kind of sowing into the just direct sowing, which are going to be mainly peas, the melon seeds, a lot of other flowers, especially the sunflowers. There's quite a few things I'm going to be planting directly into the ground, but something I really do recommend is really just try and get your plants to be as good as possible. Try to make them be pretty green before. There's a lot of factors that can go into that. The healthier they are when they come outside, the faster and better they'll do in the very beginning, because it is a new environment. The only bad thing is, well, I guess it's the same if you just buy them from a greenhouse, but with it being inside and you bring it outside, it's going to take a lot longer for it to kind of adjust to those different temperature settings and just new kind of airflow. So this area has amazing shade during kind of the summertime. It does get quite a lot of sunlight kind of just the end of the day, just kind of that extra. Here it really needs some sunlight. Here we go. But there's also a lot of other pots that do get a ton of sun. Like the strawberries get a lot of sun all day. The blueberries will get a lot of sun. That giant pot right there will get pretty much sun all day. And then stuff all over. Like these pots right here are perfect because, well, they're really well draining. And if you guys are on the budget, which most farmers usually are on pretty small budget, I really do recommend just going with fabric pots. If you want to spend a little bit more money to get something nicer, I do really recommend that. But if you're on a budget and something that works really well, I do recommend going with fabric. This is my second year going with it because it just worked so well last year. I'm also growing carrots over here. I'll be doing a lot of great stuff over here with growing hundreds of tomatoes. Same thing with the other side, but at the end of the day, it'll just be very, very interesting to see how everything does. I also would like to say we are entering our rainy season, so I'm going to kind of have to stall for those plants that really don't like rain. For an example, I brought this wheelbarrow out well, a few days ago when I was moving all the soil around. There's been 2 days where it rained a lot and I've not dumped this yet. So that just shows how much rain we actually get during rainy season. It's actually really, really bad because during the summertime we get like no rain, but during our rainy season it's like Florida here, except a little bit colder and the temperatures are a lot less predictable. So just always be ready for anything that could happen. Big thunderstorms, colder weather one day, extremely hot weather in the very beginning of the year. Just be ready for everything that could happen and make sure you actually have room. I do recommend possibly tilling your soil. I've actually just used a great tiller and a rake that has actually worked very, very well. You can actually kind of see some of the lines I did. One's right there, another one is kind of right there, and then another one's right there. So you can kind of see that it has kind of rained down and just kind of compacted the soil again. So I might have to do this like a fifth time, but for then it's doing very, very good. I've also tilled this area a little bit. I do probably need to do it maybe once or twice again, but other than that, I do really recommend considering starting the garden. If you guys are kind of on that 50-50 side, you have a little bit of room in your backyard, maybe the side of your house, might as well, because at the end of the day, it is the most rewarding thing going out early in the morning before like you go to work or before you start like just all of that, before you start your long day. I really just think it's the most rewarding thing, maybe to come outside and like pick like a watermelon, cut it up, and then before you go to work have a few pieces. It's just the most rewarding thing. Or like peas, you can go outside, maybe harvest like 20-30 peas. It's just so amazing. That's why I always like to go bigger and bigger and bigger, and that's why I've really just loved to really work with gardening stuff. Because if you guys have just kind of been with all my channels before, I've had a slime shop. Well, I do still have a slime shop. I do Lego investing, but lately one of my main things I really want to focus on is agriculture. That's something I didn't really think of maybe 2 or 3 years, but after I've really worked with inside and all of that amazing stuff with like the aquaponics, I've really found a great love for that area. And I'm very, very, very excited for this season, and I have a lot of amazing stuff planned for this channel very, very soon. So if you guys do want to check out any of our other videos, please check those out. I'd really, really love it if you would. And yeah, this is gonna be another video. So please subscribe, hit the bell notification on the all so you not miss our video, and please like this video. I really do want to thank you all so incredibly much for watching today's video. If you guys want me to do another video like this, please do comment that down. I'd really love it if you would. And yeah, thank you so much for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys tomorrow when we post next. Peace.